kitchen anymore. And there is no desk, right? It just kind of happens. And so I think that you have to start where the paper starts coming in. And there's a couple of places that it starts coming in. The first is mail. I am brutal with mail. And I don't know that many of you will follow my strictness on mail. But like I said, I have 5 children, so papers are coming into my house a lot. Okay? And so I have to have a little bit of control, or they swallow us whole. Okay? And so I usually get the mail, typically. If my children get it, they know that the mail goes in one spot. Because if your children don't know that, you will find the electric bill after they shut your lights off under your teenager's bed. I know. I've seen it happen. And so I usually get the mail. When it comes in, I walk right to the trash can. And I start tossing. Coldwater Creek is my downfall. Because they send out about 2 catalogs every 6 weeks. And they are magnificent. They make you want everything that is in them. And so anything that I keep in my hands when I step away from the trash can gets the date put on it, right at the top. And it goes into a bin on my desk. And if it has not been handled in how many days? 7 days. It's not that important in my life. If a piece of paper came in from my kid's backpack, right? It says, oh, PTO meeting, blah, 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 blah. And it's been 7 days and I haven't even put it into my calendar. The chances of me going to that PTA meeting are very, very slim. That's just honest. And so you got to stop it where it starts. And by dating it for me, that visual image of seeing that date on the top reminds me, hey, Lori, get real with yourself. You can't do everything. I'm not the secretary of the universe. I like to think that I'm Superwoman, but I can't handle it all. And so some things are not that important at this point in my life. Some things you do have to file, though, right? How many of us love our filing system? You love your filing system? I'm going to explain my filing system. My filing system actually really established itself, I guess, after Hurricane Charlie. We were in Florida, and Hurricane Charlie went from a Category 1 to a Category 4 literally in 35 minutes, okay? Where they were telling us, oh, it's fine, it'll be fine, to all of a sudden, it's too late to evacuate, get a mattress, and pray. And I saw, and we lost our roof and some things, but I saw homes and friends' homes completely destroyed. Nothing left. And one of the things that I learned is that it is very important to have a filing system that works so well that you can retrieve what you need at a moment's notice. Because sometimes you really do need to rebuild your life. And sometimes you need those documents to be able to do that. And so the very first file in my filing cabinet is a red file marked emergency in big black permanent marker letters. All of my others are labeled very, very pretty in purple folders, but this is the big red black permanent marker label. And in that is every single document that I would need to rebuild my life if anything would happen. Copies of passports, copies of driver's licenses, copies of our mortgage papers, all of our insurance documents, kids' birth records, birth certificates, immunization records, you name it, anything that I'm going to need to prove that we had a life is in there. When something happens, you need to be able to retrieve it. Why do we file things? So we can get them again, right? Statistics say, and at first I thought this was a typo, and I actually emailed the person who came out with the statistic. Statistics say that 97%, now that's a big number, 97%. 97% of what you file will never be looked at by you again. 97%. There are certain things that you need to keep. You need to keep birth certificates. You need need copies of your driver's license, passports, and things like that. You need that. Do you need your electric bill from 1977? No. Because do you know what happens if you didn't pay your light bill in 1977? They shut your lights off. Okay? The way that I handle bills, I have one folder marked bills. It's the third folder in my filing system. The second one is auto. Everything associated with auto goes in it. And the third one is bills. And in that goes all of the bills that I owe for that month. When the new bill comes, I pull out the old bill, I hold it up next to the new one, I see, did it go up a whole lot? Did they credit me the amount of money I paid? Do they say they received it on time? Does everything match? Blah, 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 blah. And I take the old one and I shred it. And the new one goes into the bills folder. I do the exact same thing with my bank statements. Because in my house, whoever gets the mail, the day that the bank statement comes in, they are required to reconcile the bank statement. Okay? And so about the 10th of the month, my husband is nowhere near the mailbox. And so usually I get the bank statements. And I do exactly the same thing. I sit down, I reconcile the statement, I make sure that everything lines up. Does the starting balance match? Does the ending balance match? Does it all match my little QuickBooks account that I got on my computer? Take the old one and I shred it. Now 4 years ago we moved up here to Michigan and we bought a new house. And when we did, the mortgage company said to me, what I need is a year's worth of your bank statements. And so I called my bank, Fifth Third, and I said, Mr. Fifth Third, I need a year's worth of my bank statements. They said, oh, why do you need it? I said, my mortgage company needs it. They said, do you have the mortgage company's fax number? I said, of course I do. Here's the fax number. He read off the fax number, hung up the phone. I never saw the bank statements. 15 minutes later, they were printed out at my mortgage company. All is well in the world. Most of the time, if you can't use this system if you're not going to check your bills. If you're not going to reconcile and you're not actually going to pay attention when it comes in, you can't use this system. You're going to have to keep records that you can back yourself up with. But if you're willing to take a few extra minutes, compare your bills when they come in, toss them, your filing system is effortless. Effortless. When I go to pay bills, I pull out one folder. I pull out one folder, pay the bills, most of it I do online, and I'm done in 15 minutes. Very, very, very simple. Instead of struggling and keeping things in order, right now I'm actually helping a church organize their filing system. That's one of the things that I'm working on right now. And they have to keep certain records so that they can prove, But both my husband and I own our own businesses for years. For years. We've paid taxes, we have children, we have lives, we do things, we buy stocks, and we have lives. We have never needed a 4-drawer filing cabinet. And most people, most Americans, you go into their home offices, and there's 3, 4. I actually saw one house that was just this little dinky tiny office, and every wall was lined, even in front of the window, with filing cabinets. Your life cannot be that complicated. Cannot be that complicated. One of the things you have to understand, and I think that this is the most important part of the entire seminar, to be honest with you. The thing that you have to understand is that sooner or later, somebody is going to deal with your stuff. Sooner or later, somebody will deal with your stuff. It may be you. It may be somebody you love. It may be a complete stranger. But somebody has to deal with your stuff. My mother takes this very seriously. She will not go on a trip without organizing all of her drawers and making sure she doesn't have any ratty underwear or anything. Because she's like, there is no way you're going to come to my house and say she has nasty drawers. She takes that stuff pretty seriously. And so you have to recognize that sooner or later somebody's going to deal with it. And I want to be the one who deals with it. I want to be able to be the one who says, this is where this should go, this is how we want this handled. We lost my husband's father in May, and he was sick with cancer for a couple of years. We actually were very, very blessed. They had told us that he had a very short time to live, and he actually lived much longer than they thought, and it was a huge, huge blessing.